right. Got it. There we are. Hi. Hi, everybody. Let's make sure it's all going on. Here it comes. There we go. Yay. All right. Hi, everybody. It's me, Jennifer, from Little Model Foxes. And we've got Greg Brancati, or Brancati with me. So hard to say. And
Julia, also from Little Metal Fox.
So we were very lucky, a couple of years ago, to actually get some of Greg's stones in the silent auction for the Seattle Metals Guild. And we, because of all the things that have gone on in the last couple of years, have not had a chance to get together. So forgive us for putting this off for so long.
Thank you for being so patient with us.
Yes. But I'll tell you, we've got quite the extravagant.
Yeah, you guys can't see the stones behind us.
Stones in front of us.
Stones next to
us. Lovely.
Yeah.
So Greg is a gemstone dealer, lapidary artist, faceter, and does all this beautiful work in a lot of really beautiful, colorful stones. And I know for a lot of people, it can be really overwhelming when you are, looking at gemstones, or if you go to a gem show, a gem fair, or are kind of looking around and you don't know, what to buy, where to get it from, who's trustworthy, what the quality is that you're looking at, how do you know, what's a good price range. So Greg was kind enough to bring up some of his gemstones to talk to us today. If you are interested in talking to Greg about some of the stones that you might see today, we're going to include his email address down below in the little section, so you can go right to his email address. So we'll link it down there to Greg. And if you just have questions, notes, and whatever you need, let him know. He's really great. So Greg, you and I met a few years back, I think, at Danica, maybe?
Probably.
Yeah, at Danica. And doing you had a whole bunch of your gems there, and I was really impressed with the variety of color, because I really like using colored stones in my work. And we were talking about this briefly on Instagram a minute ago, but so many of Julie's breaking things.
I'm dropping things. I'm trying to adjust the other camera.
So we've got a lot of gemstones that people don't really realize come in a wide variety of colors. And we were looking at, I think, the garnets a minute ago that are beep.
It just completely fell apart.
There's another hex key around or something.
No, I like it.
You unscrewed I
broke her thing. Like pieces went flying out.
Here, use this one. Use this one. Oh my God.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. Use that camera holder. Don't break this one.
I'm so sorry.
It's gonna break. Here, let's do this. All right, hang on. Let's put that one on, attach it right there. On the shelf. Hook that onto the shelf for something secure, then you can use that one for your camera. Okay. Sorry about that. Technical problems. So while she's doing that, Greg and I are going to talk stones. So with some of these, you've got like these are garnets.
What are these? This is a mix in this.
Okay.
There are molly garnets here,
right?
Which are
light
yellow to greenish.
Right.
This is sphene.
Sphene. Now, what is sphene? Because
it's its own mineral.
Okay.
It's a soft mineral.
Okay.
You wouldn't want to use it for anything other than earrings or pendant. You wouldn't want to put it in the ring
because it's chips or
yes, it's only. But it has a very high dispersion, so it's much higher than diamond. So if you get it in sunlight, people think they're fake because they have so many colors.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Well, and is that unusual for a softer stone?
No, there are plenty of stones that have higher dispersion. Zircon being one of them.
Oh, right.
Which really shows off dispersion very well. That's why it was used as a diamond substitute.
Right. I know a lot of people kind of confuse zircons with cubic zirconia, which is very different. And it is, and because it is so colorful, a lot of people don't think it's real.
Yes.
Yeah.
sort of a bad rap.
It
because
does, and they're
people don't know it's a natural
spectacular.
stone.
But zircon also, like tourmaline and garnets and sapphires, come in a huge variety of
The
color as well. Let's see some of those.
Okay. These are unusual colors in zircon.
Zircons. So these are all zircons. And a lot of people, I think, recognize like blue zircons, the blue zircon.
Yeah.
And those look a lot like the blue topazes, right? They're a
yeah.
little, they seem a little, they have a little bit different
They're
color.
more, yeah, a little bit different color, a little more green.
Yeah,
teal,
yeah, a little more tealy.
Yeah.
Than like the blue topaz, and they seem far sparklier
They are.
than
They
the.
have a lot higher
Can you,
dispersion.
and you can, the camera is picking that
Yeah.
up because that's just like, yeah. So yes, the dispersion, or
Yes.
as we like to call it here, sparkliness.
Sparkly.
So, but these are also
Zircon.
zircon.
Yeah.
And
You want to try?
the cola color, yeah, Julia's got the camera over here, so we can do that. But yeah, take a look at some of those close up. The have you got the background blur on? That's what it looks like.
I don't know what it's doing. I don't think it has, no, I don't know.
Yeah, there we go. So yeah, I think the background blur is on.
Well, it'll focus on my hand
Right.
sometimes.
There we go. So we're working on that. But
I don't know what to do because I'm just a complete space cadet with this.
here we go. Let me see if I can. There she
Sure.
is.
Okay, so
Okay.
there's that, and then I think maybe we just have to do it one at a time.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, there you go.
Mhm.
So yeah, ooh, sparkliness.
So if you want to give me the particular ones you want to look at.
Yeah, yeah. So the
I think a whole tray, the
the-
problem is a whole tray. It's like.
yeah, the
doesn't seem
color
to-
on that. I could probably sign in too here. And on Instagram. Yeah. There you go. Or on YouTube. Let's see. Where's my
Too much
So
technology.
background effects.
I know.
Oh, see, none. That's what we need.
There it
we
is.
go.
Yay.
See, the things
There
you
it
learn.
So
I didn't
yeah,
know that background effect was even on.
there we go. Get you a little light over here.
Oh,
There you go. So the yeah, so those are zircons, and
wow,
they're
really?
yes, yeah, and you can see the sparkliness on those and on the ones above. A lot of times I think people think of and originally I think I sort of thought of zircons as being sort of a cola color, and so the cola colors in those are just the browns in those are just amazing.
Yeah, they're beautiful stones in their own right. They're not.
These here look kind of like garnets. They're almost.
Yeah. They're. But most people don't know that they're natural stones and that they come
Yeah.
in different colors.
Yeah, and these with the zircons, they naturally come in those colors, right?
Yes.
So they're
the
not-
blues are heat treated.
The blues are heat treated, and the blues for topazes are also heat treated and irradiated
Yeah,
usually.
blue topaz is in irradiated stone.
An irradiated stone. So okay, so for people that are learning about stuff like that, what's the treatments like heat treating and the irradiation, and what does that mean when we're talking about that
Well,
in summary?
in summary, it's in blue topaz, it's heating or it's irradiating to get really a bumping electrons out of their
Yeah,
orbit into
bombarding
another
it,
space in
Yeah.
the crystal,
right?
and that gives it its.
So
blue
is it like
color.
eliminating something from the?
No, it's not. It's changing
Oh,
the structure basically.
okay.
They produced a lot of blue topaz from very inexpensive whitish or sherry colored topaz.
Oh, okay.
So it was not. It's almost the closest thing to a synthetic you can get.
Oh, okay.
Basically,
Yeah.
in
Is
its
there a lot-
value.
And there's a lot of heat treated sapphires as well.
Yes, sapphires now have a lot of treatments done to them.
Right.
Heat treatment is what they call traditional heat treatment is been used for many years, hundreds of years.
Yeah.
And that really is an accepted practice in sapphires. More modern practices, though, are early diffusion,
Hmm.
which came on the scene probably 20 or 25 years ago, or maybe not even that long, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And it really changed what you have to look for in treatments, because it really added new color and chemical to this crystal
Oh, interesting.
through very high temperature and very light elements that would go through the crystal. So
Right. So I
there's a
know
different price
like
for
like
that.
boron is used to make what, pink sapphires, I think, and there's like different things that they add. There's like a crucible or something that they're using and putting that different element in there and then
What
heating it in that and it sort of
what-
sucks it in. Is
what
that
the light elements, beryllium was the first one that was really successfully used.
Mhm.
It was accidental thing. They would heat treat in the traditional sense, but sometimes they would mix a aquamarine, which is a beryl, which has beryllium content,
Ah,
and they noticed where the beryl contacted the sapphire, the color changed to
Oh.
a very desirable color from the. So
oh.
then they started treating.
So it's like a border collie lab mix.
Well, now they've
Yeah.
got it, and it is a very difficult treatment to detect. It has to be. There's certain signs you can tell when you're looking at them that indicate it, but to really test for it, it's a high-tech thing that not too many gemologists even have access to.
Well, that raises a good point as far as, when somebody says natural stone, that it's natural, that means that it has no treatments. or-
No,
Oh, okay,
it does not. It means it comes from the earth.
okay,
It does not. It was not synthesized in the lab.
okay.
Um,
But
and-
it could have treatments.
but it could have treatments like sapphires. It's natural. Like all of mine are natural and with traditional heat treatment.
Okay,
I try not to have anything except in some parcels. I have very low end stuff that has been beryllium, which I will disclose,
yeah, right.
and I know it is. So
Yeah. Well, and that's an important point too. One, the stones, what treatments they've had. You're cutting and faceting a lot of the larger stones, especially. So when you're buying the materials, you have an idea of what it is, how
yes.
it's been treated, and what processes it's gone through, and are disclosing that
Mhm.
to the customer that's buying it. So they're aware of what that means and what the value
Yeah,
is.
it's difficult in color stones because I buy stones already cut, and you have to have some trust in the people you're dealing with,
Right.
and you also have to test.
Yeah.
Have it tested.
Yeah.
Especially if it's an expensive stone.
Right.
Because sometimes they're getting it from somebody and they don't know. They
Mhm.
just are
Right.
believing what they've been told.
Yeah, trusting the process, and
yeah.
then you're like, oh, what?
Have you had any surprises, things where you found that it had been treated?
Yes, I was
Good surprises or bad surprises?
certainly.
Right.
It's usually a bad surprise.
Oh.
But I was in Bangkok before the beryllium treatments were being disclosed. And
Oh,
it was another dealer said, oh, we're going to Bangkok. I saw some incredible Russia stones. I haven't seen
which are the pink ones?
the pink
The
ones.
really
yes,
pink
and that was the
sapphires.
first beryllium treatments we're making. It was a
Mhm.
very distinctive looking.
They're like fuchsia pink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I bought some, and of course, then a couple months later, all the labs started to figure out that they were beryllium diffused. And
And does that diffusion, is that deep into the
it's deep
stone, or is
into
it
the
just
stone.
on the
It's not a
surface?
surface.
Okay.
It's a deep diffusion.
So even if you recut the
You
stone,
can
you will
recut the stone. It's a
retain the
good
color.
It's actually a nice product.
Mhm.
It is durable. It doesn't.
It's
Doesn't
corundum.
It's
fade.
corundum, and it doesn't fade, and you can recut it without losing the color in general.
So that's good.
It's
You
good.
know?
It has a place in the market.
But it's a man-made color.
It is, and it should command a different price than a natural Atarasha,
Right.
or
Yeah, because they are far rare. Well, it's like pink diamonds. Natural pink diamonds are extraordinarily rare.
Yeah.
And are worth significantly more money than a white diamond is. But I know that diamonds go through immense treatment to make them spectacular,
Yeah.
right? So you've got irradiation and heat, and I've seen
And
people
fill
like,
too.
yeah,
Now
drill and
there's-
fill.
Yes, there's a lot of, and that those treatments are being done to rubies
Mm.
also.
Yeah.
And nowadays, some sapphires, it's usually easy to tell.
Yeah.
But the glass filled rubies are flooded the market
Right.
a few years ago. And if you don't know rubies that well, I'd be very cautious buying a bargain ruby,
Right.
bargain price ruby,
Mhm.
because they're quite rare.
Yeah.
in qualities.
Well, and that's another good point, because right now I know there are a lot of stones that are like, they're corundum slices, rose cut things that have lots of inclusions and they're a low quality sapphire, but they're still corundum
Mhm.
and natural colors, but they're a low quality stone, right?
Yeah, well, there are plenty of crystals that aren't facet grade that make a nice rose cut.
Yeah.
You do have to worry when the glass filling is problematic because it reduces the durability.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So talk about that a little bit, like reduces the durability in terms of cutting it or wearing
Wearing
it?
it,
Okay.
you could have it for a few years and then you'll see a lot of the glass in the fractures will wear and oxidize over time, and it'll look ugly. It'll get all these little lines and hairlines.
So the sort of crazing, the
Yeah,
glass itself
you'll
will
see it
craze.
more.
And
Yeah.
I've actually seen that happen in real time, because one of my students was doing a casting and she wanted to cast a stone in place.
Ah,
And I was like, please don't, because, and it was a friend's, it was like a sort of a rosy pink diamond. And I'm like, one, I'm not sure that's what that is.
Mhm.
Two, do you really, I don't know that you want to like do this with a commission piece.
Yeah.
right.
You may
With
want
the
to,
stone you're not sure about.
yeah, with casting in place is always, treacherous anyway. So she was like, yeah, I'm gonna give it a try anyway. I'm gonna take my chances. And it came out of the kiln and it was a real pretty little pink stone, going in.
Going in. And coming
Coming
out.
back out, it looked like it was like a really muddy yellow, and you could see all the drill and fills,
Mhm.
all of them. And so it looked like it had like rutile
Oh,
almost
wow.
going through it, like rutile quartz going through this
Yeah.
little bitty stone. And it absolutely deadened the stone. It killed it. And so yeah, she was like, oh no. I'm like, oh. Yeah,
Yes.
tried to break it to you
Tried to
easily.
head you off.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
there's only so much you can do in
Yeah,
that sense,
yeah.
right?
And-
As a teacher, you
and
can try.
there are stones that are durable enough to do
Mhm.
that with, but with good stones, I would not usually recommend that.
No, that's pretty rough. That's a pretty harsh thing to put any stone through.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I used to be a bench jeweler, so I remember we would tip regularly on rubies and sapphires all the time.
Yeah.
Retipping. And that's not too many stones can take that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
Well,
You'd
the
retip
corundums
with
are
a
pretty
torch, or
tough.
you'd retip with a
With a
with a
torch.
laser.
No.
Retip with a torch.
Oh, yeah.
Damn, boy,
Yeah.
yeah.
all right.
Oh yeah.
That's some skill.
that's some hot skills.
That's some mad skills, right?
Yes. I mean, the stone that the stone could take it is impressive, but that you could do it at all is also impressive.
Yeah. Yeah. Very good.
I'm an old timer.
You know,
Well, looking at I'm curious, because I know you've got so much color, and it's so lively in terms of what we're looking at in terms of like gemstone colors and things. And obviously you have an attraction to like colored gemstones.
Yes.
So what kind of got you into the colored gemstone stuff, and what do you really love about that? What's your favorite stuff?
I really don't have a favorite. I've been cutting a lot of sapphire, and I've been cutting now a lot of beryl. And when I cut a nice one, it's my favorite.
Yeah.
the one you just finished. Is your
Yeah,
favorite.
Yeah.
when it's a good one.
And these are the sapphires. Yes. Yeah. Ooh, get those under the. You get those under the camera. And these are sapphires too.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah.
So those are some big honking sapphires. Honk, honk, right there. And the sapphires, I mean, they go from sort of that really lovely kind of pinky to green to yellow to gold to like a, oh gosh,
Got
like
the
a,
contrast here, the
that
there's the
just
white
kind
one,
of
the yellow, the
olivine,
blue.
yeah, light blue, dark blue, purples. So there's just, yeah,
There's just about every color.
there's such a
in-
huge
Yeah,
range.
yeah.
So with the sapphires, is there a color that's more valuable than another? How would somebody, if they were coming to this and they were looking at the sapphires, how would you,
Look at these
like,
little lavender ones.
how do they know what, yeah,
What
the
colors?
lavender ones,
Well,
like what color is better or worse?
we
Or
just said
how do you-
paparasha,
paparasha,
you'll be paying a lot for a
like King's
paparasha.
Ransom.
So is this
Yeah,
one
really?
here in the
And
middle,
ruby.
this pink one, is this kind of the paprasha color? One that's,
The
I'm
pink,
sorry, you
that's
got
the
a lot.
lavender color.
No,
No, the
I
paparasha
don't have
are
too
the-
many in the real fine pods.
I just
and the
wanted
small.
to show
The
people
ones
like
I've
what
got
the
that are-
color
I think that's
is.
in that tray. That bright pink kind of color is the paparasha.
Want to spotlight me or? Which one is would qualify? Just so people know what the color is that we're talking about when we talk about paprasha.
On the screen, Rick, is it?
No, I don't. Let me see.
Yeah.
Let me see. This tree doesn't really have a pod.
Oh,
This is called, well, this is a African pod, but it's a different, it's more orangey.
Right.
This one here.
Yeah, but what I really wanted people to see was what the color is, even if
Yeah.
it's not
Yeah.
actually a
This is a pod color, but they should be much larger.
Okay, so you have this
Yeah,
kind
so
of
they have like the oranges
more
and the pinks.
Yeah,
and orange.
Yeah, like that little pinky, it is a mixture of pink and orange is what,
Right. Let me get
and the thing
focus
now
on
So
here.
peach.
yeah, it's a peach
Peach
color.
color like
Well,
these.
no, peach is not,
Not even peach, rosier.
it's a subjective thing, and there's a bit of controversy in that sublabs are very lax in their definition of pod color. So some things will have a lab report that says it's a pod, but
Right.
other people will look at it and go, no, it's a peach or
It's a peach. It's a colored sapphire. That's what that is. It's got
So
color.
you really have to go, with,
Where that goes. back in
There
there.
we go. I go in here.
yeah.
Yes.
So these are also sapphires. right?
Yes. And these are sapphires
Mhm.
too. Yes.
Yeah.
Love
So,
these lavenders.
Yeah, it's so impressive. I've got some green sapphires that I just love too.
Yeah,
whole
those are
thing of
beautiful.
color.
Oh,
Dark
yeah.
green.
Here we go.
You will
What?
see a whole slew in those little.
Yeah,
So
that's
this is a whole tray of little.
yeah. So I
sapphires.
mean, just even looking from like the entire spectrum of color that's available in the sapphires. And sapphires are they're all over the world naturally, right?
They come from Montana. We have our local or native ones, and
Right.
a lot of African stones, a lot of ones from Thailand.
Yeah.
Sri Lanka is the biggest producer of sapphires.
Now,
All colors.
are they coming out of the ground in Sri Lanka, or are
Oh, yeah.
they cutting? Because I know
Oh,
there's they do a
have
lot of cutting
they- That's the oldest, one of the oldest centers for
for gemstone.
gemstones.
Wow.
And it's a lot of it is like a family business that has gone on for
Is this a
generations.
different,
So
this is a different one?
Yeah. Here's the
More sapphires?
another one. Yep.
you might go to a gem dealer's house and he'll have what looks like a well in his backyard, but it's his mine that he's
Oh.
been digging for generations,
Oh my gosh.
that they've been pulling sapphires out of.
So a sapphire
Like
well.
a family mine. The family.
A family
mine.
sapphire well. That's yeah. Never sell the mineral rights. Never sell the mineral rights. Oh my gosh. Well, they just keep
And in the rivers, you'll keep people
Oh yeah.
sifting.
Panning.
through.
Yeah, panic. So aside from the sapphires, because I know you've got a number of, like I said, the zircons, which I'm like a huge fan of, but you've also got tourmaline, which have a little bit different property than the sapphires and a little bit different color as well.
These
So
are
you
all
get these like
tourmaline?
watermelon colors, you get that watermelon pink and green, and then sometimes you get that rainbow of color through it.
Yeah.
So because the tourmalines kind of grow, and you get it almost like to black, to dark green, to dark blue, to and just that whole range. But the crystal kind of grows like that, doesn't it? Because I've seen slices with it being dark on the outside and then the pink to the middle.
It can have all sorts of variations. It can be
Right.
that watermelon that you put a slice that looks like a slice of watermelon, with
Yep.
green rind and pink
Right.
or red center. And it
see.
can do it from end to end too. It could be
Oh,
green at one end and red at the other end of the crystal.
oh,
which
wow.
I don't know if I brought too many.
And this is why, what is
Like
the,
this.
what is the,
Bicolors like
Oh, yeah, I
that,
like the
too.
bicolor. It's really
what
lovely.
well, how does that happen? Why is that here?
There's just minerals in the, where when the crystal's forming, there's certain minerals that it's
Let me get it.
crystallizing out that have that color.
Yeah, like ametrine. Do that.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Because, well, I know with ametrine, don't know a lot about gemstones, but I do know this, that with citrine and the quartz crystals, when they're forming in lava tubes, and I know that the amethyst forms in cooler water and the citrine forms in warmer water inside the lava tubes.
Yeah.
Right. So as the water is cooling
Cooling down.
down and the crystals are growing, it gives you like this change of color, right?
yeah. It might be, it's a little different in tourmaline that it's actually a chemical
Yeah.
that's causing that. Whereas in ametrine, it's
So it's the presence of a particular
temperature.
chemistry
Yeah.
for the tourmalines, whereas
Yeah.
it's the presence of particular temperature for the ametrine, amethyst and citrine.
And that's really kind of critical because I know with things like beryl, with corundum, you've got just one element that can completely change the color
Oh, yeah.
of a,
Yes.
a gemstone
Oh, yes.
from like aquamarine to beryl or to emerald.
Emerald. Yeah.
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 Right.
In aqua, it's a lot of these greens, like this type of green.
That mint.
Oh, this is not a mint. This is a normal greenish
Oh.
blue beryl,
Right.
and it's colored with iron.
Okay.
Whereas the stronger greens are colored with the vanadium and chromium sometimes.
Oh yeah, yeah, like that. It's a chrome green,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. So many trays of gemstones in my studio right now. It's like, yay! It's like Disneyland. Yeah,
Well,
Well-
did you cut these, Greg?
yeah. Those are
All those
lovely.
facets.
Yeah. And
Amazing.
when we were talking about the sparkliness and the with the beryl, now a lot of people don't like working with emeralds because they're worried that they're going to break.
Right.
So is that they're a hard stone, but they'll cleave easily?
They have a
correct?
lot of flaws,
Yeah.
is the problem. And the ones that I just cut the last two emeralds I cut, these are both untreated, and this one is quite clean.
Oh God.
This one is untreated too. It's not as clean, but it's a bigger stone and it's nice color.
Oh mom. You're sure. Yes. Love them. Yeah, those are
So both.
my
of
mom would be
these-
drooling right now.
Yeah.
There you go.
Both of
That's
these
for you,
were
Mom.
saying are
Are
untreated.
untreated. They're
Yeah.
unoiled stones. So, and that's very uncommon in emeralds.
And emeralds. Oh, okay.
And I've had problems when I've sold some to a gem dealer, and he said, "Well, they came back. The report came back as oiled." And I said, "Well, it's not oiled."
Because you know for a fact it's
Yeah.
not oil because you cut it.
I cut it. I know the rough that came. It was never, the rough was never oiled. And then I talked to the gemologist who did the reports. He said, "Oh yeah, we just say whenever we get an emerald, we say it's oiled."
Oh, just
I
out of
said,
habit.
because they're almost all are oiled.
So what does that mean exactly?
I was just going to ask.
It's just that for emeralds, it's another accepted practice that they take the emeralds after they cut them and they pop them in cedarwood oil.
Cedarwood oil.
Cedarwood oil. yes.
Interesting. Okay.
And it hides, it fills in some of the cracks and
Oh,
it hides some of the blemishes.
right.
Without being any kind of a permanent change to the stone.
Yeah, no, it's, and that's accepted. And now when you get a gem report, usually from a good lab, will say F1, F2, or F3, F1 being lightly filled. But I had to go to the gemologist and say, no, redo this thing and
And really,
And-
really
and-
look at
and
that
I
again,
knew-
please.
Yes. And they said, oh, okay, we will. And then they reported it's not filled. But,
Yeah. Well, so with things like opals, because I know you have some opals too. What there a lot of times those are being treated and filled and stabilized. There are a lot of stones that get stabilized. So
Yes.
what's meant by stabilized?
It's generally a fill, and it's usually when you see turquoise, it's stabilized, or a lot of other types of stones that are made into cabs. It's using opticon.
Right. An opticon's like a glass glue that's
It's
optically
like a-
clear. They use it for,
It's like an epoxy type or resin type
yeah,
fill.
yeah. I know they use it for in the optical industry for like bifocals.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's like optically clear. And so with lenses, it's and in the glass world, they'll use it to put two pieces of
Yeah.
glass together and
They match
vacuum it in.
They match the RI of the glass.
Refractive
Right.
index of the
Yeah.
glass.
yeah. Oh, goodness. Okay. Well,
Have something else you want me to show?
what else we got here? Let's see. Let's see
Opals.
another
You want
tray.
to talk about some
Do you have
opals?
some opals?
I think the opals were over here.
Yeah, I have opals over there. I didn't bring, I do have better opals, but I didn't bring them.
Oh,
today.
yeah.
But yeah, this is all
Oh,
Mexican for the most part, and Ethiopian.
so
This is a piece of from Idaho.
Idaho opals?
Idaho.
is-
I know there's a lot of opals down in
This is
Oregon.
Oregon opal.
Oh,
Oregon.
okay, that's the Oregon. Okay, that's a contraloose opal. If you light it from behind, you get a little
Oh, oh,
if you ever, and if that light will do it.
yep.
I think we might need sunlight for that.
Yeah. But these are Wilo, and Wilo is out
That's
of Ethiopia.
That's the Ethiopian.
So these are the Ethiopian.
Um,
And the Mexican, a lot of times are referred to as jelly opals.
Yeah.
Because
these
they
are like
have-
this.
Yeah, oh, jelly opals. They're so pretty.
Yeah, all these oranges.
Oh God, look at that. Oh, yummy. So with some of the
This isn't the price, is it?
It is.
That's a
Oh.
$5 opal.
It might be,
might be.
but I think sometimes what happens is the things get, no, that's
They get
$5
moved
opal.
into
Yeah.
a
That's a
Yeah.
$5 opal, people.
Yeah.
into a different bag.
No, it's sometimes it wears off, but that one wasn't a great one. It has some problems. It has some crazing on the back.
Okay, so
So
let me come back
beautiful.
here. So
So
have some crazing on the back.
so some of these are faceted, some of
it's
them
$5.
are
Yeah,
cabbed. So
What are
with
these that you just handed me? Sorry.
opals,
Free
those are,
trade.
those are opals. So those are Australian
Mhm, yeah.
opals. So with the Australian opals, a lot of times you get more of the black, gray, blue, white kinds of colors, right? And with some of the opals, I know a lot of the Australian and the Mexican opals, you get
This is- you
some of
handing me
the material on the back,
No,
Matrix.
the matrix on the back, that is can actually kind of help hold the opal together, some of the boulder opals
Yeah, the
together a
boulder
little bit.
opals like that. I don't know if I have too many pieces of. I
But
don't think I
Oh, so
bought
these
any.
are more Mexican.
opals.
Yeah.
What kind of opals are these?
Opal is found. in
What kind
a
of
lot
opals are
places.
those, Greg?
Yeah, these are actually from Moldovia.
Hand me one of those.
Moldovan opal. I
Yeah.
think you made that up.
No, it is. From but it's
Moldovan
like a
opals.
common opal. It's not, it doesn't have any fire. It doesn't have any, it's not clear.
But it's made up of
Yeah.
the same chemical.
So this looks a bit like I would have called, and I know, and forgive my ignorance because I know almost nothing about stones, but I've seen stuff like this color called chrysoprase.
It looks like chrysoprase.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I'm not crazy. It looks
No,
a bit
no.
like chrysoprase, but it's not chrysoprase, it's opal.
So with
It's very
the,
beautiful.
it is very pretty, but there are opals that are opaque.
Yeah.
And
Like
some of
this
them are
Moldovan opal
like this
here.
Moldovan opal. And I know they're pink opals as well. They come out of what, South America, some of them?
Peru.
Peru, right.
And I have.
Yeah,
some
I've
right
seen
here.
the
These are pink.
Peruvian opal, the blue.
That's
That's
pink.
this is
Yeah, and I
Peruvian
have
opal.
blue Peruvian, some beautiful pieces, but I did not bring them today.
And this is
And but
South
they're
America.
all
No,
pretty-
That's
chrysoprase.
chrysoprase.
They're
Yeah.
all
So that's
pretty soft.
chrysoprase.
though. All opals are fairly soft.
Yeah, fairly.
Well,
6.
That's a lovely, so that's price and price for comparison.
It's like a butterfly in here.
Doesn't it? It's beautiful. Ooh. So yeah, just there's so many good things here, Greg.
Your section.
So, so with the cabs,
Mhm.
and you've got cabs, you've got faceted stones. So why would some of the opals be faceted versus capped? What's the
Do you ever do you facet opals? Or
there's
opals
one right
faceted?
there?
Yeah.
There's a faceted
Ah,
one.
okay.
Yeah,
well,
there's one that's
for
not.
for a
It's not
faceted
really-
stone to look nice, it's generally got to have a good clear.
Right.
Um,
A lot of good color, clarity,
yeah.
cut,
Yeah.
carat weight.
So the Ethiopian, a lot of it is clear, and some of the
Is that what this
Australian
is? This
also.
orange guy?
I think that's a Mexican, and some of the
Hmm.
Mexican, the jelly, it doesn't have fire in it, but or colors dispersion or
Right.
Mhm.
that type of fire, but it has a nice look when it's faceted.
Right.
Um,
So some of the jelly ones, I like some of the Mexican jelly ones because they have some like a little flash of color in them, a little
Mhm.
fire. The Ethiopian ones are a little more like colorful, like little
Yeah.
mixed up colors.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
really nice.
It's I think
Putting it
the
really
Ethiopian
simply,
is a
but-
very, if you want opal and you don't want to spend the price for Australian.
Mhm.
So
gives you a
why?
lot of
What's the difference?
It's a hydrophane opal, which
Mhm.
sucks up water a little bit more than.
So
There's
it's-
always a water content in opal.
Right.
These are a little bit. If you put them, the way I tell is you touch your wet finger to them, they stick a little
Mm,
bit more to the hydrophane.
they'll like
opal.
suck onto the
Yeah, they
water.
suck onto the water.
Oh, okay.
But have found them to be quite durable. I mean, no, opals are fragile stones. They
Mhm.
can
Yeah.
have all sorts of problems if you soak them in harsh chemicals.
Right.
You subject them to heat.
Don't put them in an ultrasonic.
Do not put them in an ultrasonic. But
Right.
I have not had bad luck with the Ethiopian. That's an Australian.
God, the color on that's just, it looks like it's made up with glitter. It's just so pretty. So yeah, the Ethiopian ones, I mean, they're lovely colorful stones. And most of the ones that I've seen from Ethiopia have that sort of, they're kind of that yellow with that like Kool-Aid orange in them. I kind of have that.
Yeah, I like the natural colors. They
Yeah.
they do color them, smoke them a lot, and
Oh.
color them with chemicals. Which I
Interesting.
do not think looks so good. It looks very artificial.
Yeah.
So you don't, when you see these, right, they'll make a lot of them into black opals.
Oh,
Smoking.
interesting.
But they've done that
Interesting.
with a lot of opal from around the world because it is so porous.
Right.
That
Is
is
there
not.
something else?
That is an
that-
Australian black opal. So there's like a black opal.
Yeah,
that's-
that's just a,
This
it's
one.
not really a black.
true
opal.
black,
It's
yeah.
just like a clear gray.
but it has that
base
flash
opal.
of
Yeah.
deep
has that
blue in it
blue,
and
yeah.
grayness to
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Mhm.
It's almost black. Almost black. So yeah, I have great respect for the opals. I love them. But it's one of those things. Did you see this one with the Australian opal?
Yeah.
So that one's got the, like when they talk about it, like a matrix opal, those are like lots of like
Yeah, a lot of times they'll
intersections
call
and
it, if they has a large pattern that intersects in a certain way, they call it a harlequin.
oh, the harlequins.
What is
Yeah.
this? It
That's
says
so yummy.
Australian, and then what's that say?
Oh, pinfire,
Oh,
just
okay.
a pinfire.
Yeah.
I was
Lovely.
trying to open it, but I couldn't get it.
Mm-mm-mm. So when
There we
people
go.
come to you
Okay,
and ask for like, guidance on family stones and things like that you've got, they're like, I need this refaceted, or, what can you do with this? I know refaceting stones can reduce the size of the stone significantly. What do you
I-
usually recommend and stuff like
It
that?
all
That's sort of
depends
like
on the s-
completely like,
there's two ways to look at it. One is it, if it's a business thing and it's like, I have bought a stone and what can you improve it? It depends on, it's all based on whether it's financially the best thing to do is to
Right.
refacet it or recut it completely. And I give, you know, it's pretty straightforward. Sometimes it's an easy thing. You can tell them. If it's a sentimental item that was some family item, then the cost really
Doesn't matter.
doesn't play into it. It's just, can we make it prettier to suit you? You know,
Yeah.
to
Right.
something you want.
Right. Right.
We did have one question. What does it mean when it's oiled? I think that was about the emeralds, and you said the oil that it's dipped in is sandalwood? Is that
Cedarwood.
cedarwood oil?
Traditionally, but
Traditionally.
they use a lot of different things also, but cedarwood is the traditional.
So yeah, and with the so okay, so you're using like cedar wood with those. You've got Opticon and other things with like opals, gluing it together so it doesn't go anywhere. With what are they using for stuff like softer materials like turquoise? When
That's also Opticon.
is it
Yeah.
interesting? Okay,
Opticon is just taken over as the
Yeah, it's
as the
just,
stabilizing
yeah.
treatment of choice for the
Yeah.
gem world. Well, I mean, it's optically clear. That's its whole point,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And
Yeah.
it
And it just
doesn't yellow over
vacuums right
time,
in.
correct?
supposedly not. Yeah.
Yeah.
Supposedly not.
so
But previously, there were a number of other products that did yellow
Yellow,
over
yeah.
time. And so then you would, if you look at a stone that has yellow streaks in it, could be the stabilizing epoxy.
right. So with what advice for somebody that is going to like a gem show or, you know, kind of like starting out their career as a jeweler and kind of looking to find gemstones to work with? What would your recommendation to be to a young one, to the young ones out there starting out that are,
Well,
you know, kind of looking to learn how to do this and just
Uh,
appreciating the stones and the color?
look at a lot of stones.
Okay.
Look at till your eyes are blurry.
Yeah.
And ask questions at the gem shows. Go to the gem shows because that's where you'll see bigger selection. And usually the better shows, the Tucson show, some of the best dealers in the world are there.
Right.
And it's intimidating, but it's
overwhelming.
it is, but
It's hard to know where to start when you go to
Mhm.
to a
it
show
is.
like
Well,
that.
you're sort of limited to your budget,
Right.
what you think you can afford to buy.
Yeah.
So generally, people who are starting out are not buying bigger sapphires. They're buying garnets.
Right.
They're buying beryl. They're buying tourmalines, things like that.
Right. So start with a budget,
Start with a budget,
a reasonable budget.
and then
You're always, I start with a budget when I go to Tucson. Uh,
and
But then do you keep to your budget?
no. So start with a budget. And it's a budget, not a limit. It's a budget. So start with a budget. And I like
Not
to
a
go,
limit. I like
not a
that.
limit, but go with a list of things that I usually go with a list of things I'm looking for.
Mhm.
So I have like a shopping list of specific sizes and gemstones. So I know kind of what
that
I,
drives me crazy. I to have a shopping list like that.
well,
it
it's
limits-
like,
but
well,
I'm
it
not
doesn't
looking for
limit it.
anything.
Yeah, but it doesn't limit it. For me, it's stuff that I know that I need to get. But I know I'm always going to find new things and learn new things by talking to the gemstone dealers. But I know sometimes for some people, if they go down with no budget or no like idea of what they're looking for, you get like so overwhelmed with the
Right.
stones that it's hard to like navigate.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, oh my God, I don't even know where to start. So if you have, I think, a little bit of like, okay, I've got a budget and I've got a shopping list, and it's like, take me to your blue zircons. And it's like, look at all the zircons. So then you can kind of, you know, keep your eye out for the things you need and get you in the
Yeah.
door,
And-
get you a little focus, I think sometimes.
Yes, and it's good to take notes.
Absolutely.
And not, don't be forced the first day you're at a show
Oh yeah.
to spend your money.
At the big
Just-
shows. Yeah.
yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And if you are really wanting to pick their brains about stones, you can do it, but some dealers, if they're busy,
Yeah.
they don't want to spend the time.
Yeah,
with you.
be
Respectful.
respectful of
yeah.
the fact that this is their livelihood and they need to
Yeah.
sell stones. And as much as they want to educate you,
Yeah.
That's not their business.
That's not their
Yeah.
business.
Yeah, but a lot of them are very willing to talk if they're not busy.
Right.
Yeah.
And they're
Because they
just-
know that educating you is going to help you be a better buyer, which means
Yeah.
you're going to buy from them
Yeah.
too. If they trust,
Exactly
if you
right.
trust them.
Yeah, exactly right. So yeah, having somebody that you can kind of, share the information with and have them trust you for the gemstone dealers. But yeah, definitely, don't, if you're like looking to buy a 5 millimeter garnet round, don't take up their entire afternoon asking them questions about the garnet.
The single
Move
5 millimeter
on,
garnet.
buy the garnet and move on. But yeah, especially at busy gemstones. And I've had, I've been in a situation where I've gone to a gem show and the guys are from New York and they don't have time. It doesn't
Right.
matter how many people are standing in front of their booth. It could be just me.
Yeah.
And they have been like, go,
Yeah,
go, move on. And I'm like, but I want those. And they're like, yeah, bless your heart, move on. And I'm like, what? So those, and I won't.
What, they won't sell you the stone?
No, they won't even hardly talk to me. They won't
Yeah.
answer questions. They won't talk to me. So I will move
How
on.
could anyone not talk to you?
I know I'm adorable, right?
You are totes adorable.
So,
How could
yeah.
anyone not talk to this?
It's crazy.
Crazy.
They're out there.
Yeah.
See you. But yeah, I don't waste my time with those
Yeah.
people.
No,
because-
you want to work with people that are willing to.
And I
engage.
know, because I've been to the gem shows with you, that you do have, I mean, even just with like the findings folks at the local
yeah.
gem show,
Oh, yeah,
like
yeah.
you talk to them, you're like, I bought some stuff from you last year. And they're
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, we remember you. And you ask about,
And you make friends with those people.
right. And the
yeah.
woman who talked to you and
Oh,
helped you,
she's
and
so
you're like,
funny. Yeah.
I know. So
hilarious.
you have all these names and
Yeah,
people that you
yeah.
go back to. 'Cause
Well,
you go
and
look
it's
for
like
your friends.
you probably know Tim Work out of Atlanta, and Tim. Is Tim even still around?
He's got the dementia.
Oh, okay, that's I had heard that he was not doing well, but he was so incredibly kind.
Yeah.
To me while I was starting out in Atlanta or at Savannah College of Art and Design, and Tim would send us like the dollar diamond tray, that the students could kind of start and experiment with, and just get kind of a lot of 100 carats of cabs and things that they could sort of we could pick from and work with, and was always incredibly kind about educating the students that were coming up. And I think it's really good that when gem dealers do take the time to talk about their work, to show it off, to educate people, because it makes people that are coming into the industry more knowledgeable about what they're doing. And yeah,
Right. If you're more discerning about what you're buying, you're
Yeah.
going to be happier with what you've bought.
Yeah.
And so then everybody's going to be happier because you'll make jewelry that the customer will like, and then you'll be able to go back and buy more stones from the dealer. And
right.
it's just, it's
Yeah.
a
No, the knowledge really
And
Yeah.
increases your ability to even talk about it to
Right.
your customer.
Exactly.
and to understand the value of
Yeah.
what it is.
Yeah.
It's a piece of rock.
right. But
So
if,
how
but
do
if
you
it's unusual,
explain-
like your non-oiled emeralds,
Yeah.
and somebody is using that in a piece of jewelry, and they're able to discuss the fact that this is unusual because it's not only been
It's a much higher quality.
right, it's not only
because
a
of
beautiful
this.
stone, but you can see that it is truly an unusual stone because it hasn't had anything covering that up.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, and it makes them better jewelers, I think, because of that too. And they keep coming back. So they're educated, they've become more discerning. And even going to the gem show in Tucson, I was looking at one of the things on my list was like blue topaz. I needed some blue topazes for a piece I was working on. And just, it was something simple. I just needed to get some 5 millimeter round blue topazes. And I really kind of wanted, like, I was debating between the Swiss and the London blue. And I was like, okay, those are Swiss. I like the color for this particular piece. And these were in a box next to these, and they were the 5 millimeter round Swiss color. They were the same size, the same cut, the same carat weight. And I thought they were the same cut. And I was like, what's the difference? Because these were like a good bit more, $5 more a carat than these were. And I was like, why is there a difference between these
For
two?
the London blue was more expensive.
No, the Swiss.
Oh,
They
the
were both
Swiss, okay.
Swiss. And I'm like, these are the same color. They're the same size. They're the same shape. I'm like, what's what's the difference between these? Why are these so,
Mhm.
so much more expensive? And they said, oh, those have the Star of Texas cut in the bottom. And I was like, I will take the cheaper ones. Thank you. But sometimes it comes down to the cut and the cutter,
Oh, yeah.
Mhm,
because the cut can make a huge difference in the look of the stone.
mhm.
Yeah,
So-
yeah, you'll pay more for, in a lot of stones for diamond cut stones.
Mhm.
Right.
And sometimes the color suffers because of that, but setters want the consistency
Sure, of the shape,
of the shape.
right, because
so
it
they
can fit into a pre-made
and they
setting.
can do a whole
Yeah.
bunch
Mhm.
without having to custom.
Right.
Yes,
cut a
custom
It's like a
variant.
seat.
modified brilliant,
Yeah,
Yeah,
something like that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
interesting.
because a lot of stones are cut for retaining the weight, so they'll have different
They'll be like-
various. Yeah, they'll be.
Have a big belly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes you'll get stones and it's like they're 2 millimeters round, but they're like 6
That's
millimeters deep. They're like little
That's a little
carrots.
extreme. That's an extreme.
They look like little carrots. They're so funny. Okay.
Well, I was going to ask you, again, the advice to newbies. Are there any stones that you would suggest people who are just starting out stay away from? Like, is it a softness issue or a fragility issue,
Well,
Or cost issue.
cost issue? Yes, I
cost,
mean,
cost is one of the factors, but that's up to everybody's own
Own budget,
Some
fair.
people start out and
they have the
they have
money,
their
Yeah.
money.
and that's
Yeah.
great. Go them.
And
Nice,
most
nice
people-
for the gem deal.
that-
dealer.
Greg will be waiting
folks-
for you. So.
Greg's
for
number,
those folks that
Custom faceting at Comcast.com.
And if you don't have that, start with garnets, tourmalines.
Garnets being a Mohs 9, yes.
Eight.
No, sorry.
Well,
It's the
garnets are
corundums that
family.
are,
Yeah, corundums are 9. Garnets are a wide range of chemicals that make up garnet family.
Right.
So it goes from about 5.5
Wow.
to about 7.5.
okay, see,
Oh.
displaying my ignorance in terms of Mohs.
Yeah, I thought they were in like 7.5, 8 range.
Yeah,
So,
mostly they're in the 7, most species, but there's a lot of different species.
Yeah.
And they mix
Right.
too. There's almond maiden,
Oh,
pyro.
that's
There's hybridizing in the
Yeah,
garnet
yeah,
family,
yeah.
apparently.
The
Yes.
Borodors. Yes.
So,
But
I
then
would-
there are also lots of colors, yes?
yes, there are lots of colors. But some of the greens are very expensive, but the reds and the purples are affordable. Tourmalines are pretty affordable, smaller sizes.
Yeah.
Any stone in smaller
Cabs are
sizes.
usually going to be less expensive
Cabs are
than
gonna be quite a
facet
bit
stones.
less
usually.
expensive.
Yeah.
Hardness of tourmalines is,
7. Yeah.
so again, you could put it in a
7 range.
ring and,
Yeah,
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 right. So it's like you
durable.
could use it in any kind of jewelry,
Yeah,
right?
And like emeralds are hard, but
Yeah.
they're fragile.
They're-
Right.
Yes, yes.
But brittle,
Yeah,
right,
they're brittle. Yes, they're hard, but they're brittle. So
Mm.
hardness doesn't always equate to toughness.
yes.
Right.
Not if it has a lot of flaws.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Well, Greg, thank you so much.
I
Well,
know, this
this has
has
been
been really lovely.
Good for our students. I'm sure they're going to be very interested,
Okay.
and hopefully we'll have a few of them.
So if
Contact
somebody
you.
wants to get in touch with you, did I say it right? What was what's your
Custom faceting at Comcast.net.
Comcast.net, custom faceting at Comcast.net.
Yeah.
And then do you do any local shows in person? Because again, you
I
probably,
have done the ones with Danica,
Mm-hmm.
but I have to talk to Dana, see if she's gonna do another
Right.
one. And
Mhm.
if I don't know if she's up for it or not. but,
Yeah.
uh,
But you do sometimes. I know you've come to Pratt in the past. You've
Yes.
come to the Bainbridge Artist Resource
Yes, I
Network
did
barn
that.
over
I
on
did that,
Bainbridge.
yeah.
Yeah.
uh,
So bringing your wares
Yeah.
to students,
yeah.
and kind of showing them and
yeah,
talking to
and
them
I am in
about that.
Tucson.
And you
so-
are at Tucson.
Yeah.
Great.
Okay,
so
yeah,
see,
yeah.
you could go to Tucson
Yeah.
with your budget and your
Find Greg.
list, and then you can go talk to Greg and you can
That's
look
right.
at his actual stones, and then you can wander around and look at
Yeah.
other people's stones, so you have a basis for comparison. And you already then know somebody trustworthy,
Yeah.
excuse me, at Tucson to talk to.
Right. I've never wanted so badly to run around a room covered completely in double-sided stick tape at Tucson. Just be like, yay! You know,
Tucson is huge, right? Like it's miles and miles.
it's
So
all of Tucson.
where are you in Tucson?
I show at the HETA show.
Okay.
Which is one of
the bigger
one of
ones.
the nicer,
And to be fair, the only time I've been to Tucson, I went with a friend who is herself a gemologist, and she said, we're going to the AGTA show. She's like, and we had to do some stuff to even be allowed in, because normally that's like,
It's open to retail.
it's open to retail. So we
You have to have a reseller's.
we had reseller
business
permits and we did
license.
all that stuff. So, but the nice thing about it is that all those people in that tent have been vetted.
Yeah.
So, you know, if you go to the AGTA show, that if they say it's been treated the way they say, right?
Yeah,
It's
they try to keep that code. It's in our code.
it's in
Yeah.
the code. It's
that
in the
we
code.
disclose,
Yeah.
So they-
treatments.
They'll be
you know.
thrust upon a giant crystal of some sort of amethyst geode. Just you'll see them there
Impale.
impaled upon a geode.
But so it's a little more expensive. Both the stones are a little more expensive, and getting into the AGTA venue is a little more expensive.
Right.
So you pay a little more up front, right? You're going to pay a little more for the stones. However, you're going to get what you bought, what you pay
That's
for,
right. Yeah.
right? You're going to get the quality that you've been told.
Yeah.
And that can be huge, because Tucson is enormous. Like every hotel room has people in it. And so you really, it's a
Many
very buyer
functions, yeah.
beware sort
She
of
means
thing.
they have like spaces for people set up like gemstones.
Yeah, sorry.
They
I'm-
obviously have people in them because
every,
it's sold out.
every hotel room has gem dealers dealing gems in
Yeah.
in it.
So there's like, I know with the, what is it, the Holiday Inn that's next to the convention
Oh.
center? Yeah, they have the conference rooms, the main floors.
Actually,
They're-
that hotel's not doing shows anymore.
Oh,
But,
really?
That changed owners a while ago, I think.
Oh my
Really?
gosh,
Okay.
because it was like the first 3 floors.
Yeah.
People would rent like a lower floor and a higher floor and turn the lower floor like into a shop.
Into a
Yeah.
shop. Yeah.
It was crazy because you would walk around the hotel and there'd be like doors open. All the doors would be open and you'd be like, sparkly things. And but the interesting thing is you find people who just do garnets or just do tourmaline
Yes.
or just do like Brazilian stones. And I found myself at this amazing Brazilian stone booth, and the people that were there were from Sri Lanka, and the woman that was trying to buy stones was from Japan, and they didn't understand each other's accents. And so they were translating through me because they could understand an American accent. And so I was trying,
That's my friend.
I was trying to
helping people buy stones, no matter where she is.
wherever they come from.
That's right.
Yeah. But it's just, it was one of those things that is like, this is,
It's
it's
international.
It's
Yes,
international.
very
It's
international show.
really amazing. It's really amazing to see and meet these people from all over the world
Yeah.
that are,
It is
have a
it is
common
a
interest.
spectacular experience. It's
it really is,
also
yeah.
entirely overwhelming. I would strongly recommend taking a friend, and particularly if you have a friend who knows anything about stones, take one, because
Yeah.
it's
And
just
don't
so
be
ti-
afraid to explore.
Right,
There's,
it's
I mean, there's
tiring.
the African market that's amazing.
Mhm.
There's all kinds of things. And all the hotels, it goes on for between Quartzsite and everything else that goes on.
Right,
Goes on for
right.
like the
It's a
month of
month, yes.
February, end of January through
Yeah,
February.
Yeah, it's
So,
a
yeah.
long time.
Yeah.
But my show's a week. So
Yeah.
five
AGTA
days,
show, yeah.
5 days.
We got GIAs down there, AGTA, you've got Rio sometimes is doing the catalog in motion. You've got
Oh, yeah.
like Peppy Tools, all the tool
There's like
vendors
30
and everything.
different shows. going on.
Yeah, it's huge.
Right. So there are organized complete shows like an AGTA show. And then
Right.
there are people who rent a hotel room and set it up as a shop. And then there are people who put tents up along the side of the road.
Yeah.
Right. I mean,
It's
literally
like, is this gas station bathroom empty? It will be used
Yeah.
for,
for selling
for
stones.
geodes,
For selling anything. I mean, fossils and
Yeah.
slabs and rough. And I know people like David Horst, who goes and buys, he's a local lapidary artist.
Yeah.
Who buys rough there. I'm sure you buy
Yeah.
rough.
Yeah.
You
So
sell
it's-
and then you
it's
pack up
amazing.
and then you
Yeah.
buy.
Yeah. So, but thank you so much for coming up.
You're welcome.
Really appreciate
Really
it.
appreciate it.
And you guys, please do, get a hold of Greg if you have questions, and check out some of his lovely stones, and email him at the link below.
Custom faceting at comcast.net. Do you have a website?
No, I don't.
No website,
But he'll send you pictures.
but he'll send you pictures. You can email him and ask him for specifics, and he will
Yeah.
send you pictures. So you have your
Absolutely.
like custom gem guide.
Absolutely. And if you're in the area and, you've got a school and
Okay.
Are
well,
doing
I'll
stuff?
make it,
Oh.
if I make an arrangement, I'll
Yeah.
post it or something.
Yeah. We can
absolutely.
always post them.
Yeah, let us
We
know.
would be happy to
I'm
like
glad to share.
let people know on Instagram if you've got something going on.
Okay.
So
Yeah, absolutely.
we can be your conduit.
Yeah, we love that. Connecting people to gemstones. It's a drug. It's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, people. Thanks so much. Hope you guys have a great rest of your Tuesday. We'll see you next week. Who's going to be with us next week?
You're out of town, right?
Yes.
So I'm going to be on my own. So I think what I'm going to be doing is talking about solder, either how to reconstitute your dried out paste solder, because I have quite a few tubes of that, and or how to test solid, piece of wire solder to figure out
What you've got.
what you've got if you don't know, if you have an unidentified piece of solder. So one of those two things is
Yeah.
probably what's going to happen next
Well, then
week.
we have Ian Weber coming from Lindstrom Tools on the
Mhm.
31st. And we've got a bunch of
I know
people.
we've got a bunch. Teresa
Bunch of
Kiplinger
people.
is coming.
Yeah.
And Victoria Lansford is coming back.
Michael Nassif is
Michael
coming.
Nassif. Yes,
Love
we
him.
have
Yeah.
we people are willing to talk to us, and we like that.
Yeah, it's always good. It's always good. So thank you guys. Have a great Tuesday. Thank you, Greg.
Thank
Oh,
you so much.
Appreciate
Greg.
it so
Thank
much.
you.
And I'm looking forward to diving in and finding what I'm going to spend my gift certificate on.
Yay!
All right, everybody. Thanks so much. Bye.